Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand. I am your host, Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal branding and business development company. I want to take you on a journey that takes another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your personal brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand podcast series, you will be able to differentiate yourself from the competition and allow you to build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build trust, and reflect who you are. Developing your 5-star personal brand is a great way to demonstrate your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh, spelled M-C-G-A-U-G-H, at 5-star BDM, B for brand, D for development, M for masters.com. Now let's begin with our next 5-star episode on Follow the Brand. Welcome to a riveting episode of the Follow the Brand podcast. I'm your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, where we help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. Today, we delve into the transformative stories that shape our world. We are honored to have Leon Mead, a visionary leader in healthcare technology. Leon's journey is a testament to the power of pivotal moments and relentless pursuit of growth and empathy. As the Senior Vice President and Chief Information Officer at Community Care Plan in South Florida, he embodies these values, creating a nurturing environment that fosters learning and innovation. His story began with a defining moment in high school, steering him towards a path of profound impact and success. In today's discussion, Leon will unravel the intricate tapestry of how artificial intelligence and human interaction coalesce in the realm of healthcare. With a career spanning nearly 2 decades, he offers unparalleled insights into how AI can augment the human touch in healthcare services. Community Care Plan, under Leon's stewardship, is at the forefront of integrating these technologies to elevate the quality of care for its members. This episode is more than just a conversation. It's a journey into the heart of healthcare technology. You discover how Leon and his team at Community Care Plan are harmonizing technology with human empathy to create a healthcare service that's not only efficient, but also deeply connected to the needs of its members. Leon also shares his expertise in cultivating a skilled talent pool in healthcare IT. He underscores the importance of empathy, teamwork, and a growth mindset, qualities indispensable for anyone aspiring to make a meaningful difference in this sector. Moreover, we'll explore some of Community Care Plan's innovative solutions, like their global address book and internal texting platform, which are revolutionizing member interactions and service delivery. Join us as we navigate the evolving landscape of healthcare IT with Leon Mead. His insights and experiences offer a glimpse into a future where technology and human connection converge to create a more compassionate and efficient healthcare system. Prepare to be inspired by Leon's journey on the Follow Brand podcast, where we are building a 5-star brand that people will follow. Hey everybody, this is Grant McGaugh on the Follow Brand podcast. I don't always get a chance, and I always say this, right? I don't always get a chance, but I don't always get a chance to speak to someone with such knowledge, such understanding of how the human world interacts with the IT world in a healthcare setting. We're going to have that conversation. We're going to talk to Leon Mead of Community Care Partners. He's the CIO there. He's got a number of years of experience. And because we're on this precipice of this new age, this new technological leap that we're on in AI, but we still need to understand how this actually operates in a healthcare setting. So, Leon, you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Grant. I'm Leon Mink. I'm the Senior Vice President and Chief Information Officer at Community Care Plan in South Florida. We're actually owned by two healthcare systems, Broward Health and Memorial Healthcare System, the largest healthcare systems in the entire country. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on today, Grant.
Without question, I can't do another show without talking to Leon Mead. Your team said, hey, you got to talk to Leon. You got to get him on. They listened to a couple of different shows. They said, this is going to be impactful. We just had a good conversation even earlier. We want to continue along those lines. A couple of different things. I know that you're looking for some skilled IT people to help with your mission. I want to first have you let people know what CCP is all about and the kind of talent that you're looking for to bring on board.
Sure. So Community Care Plan, we're a health plan, and we do several different lines of business. We have Medicaid members that we take care of in Broward County. We have the uninsured that we also take care of in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. We also do our own employee, our parent hospital, Memorial Healthcare System, that has all their employees, and we serve the health plan for all of them as well. And we're looking for talent that is empathetic. Now, our current company, the name of our company is Community Care Plan, right? We're all about doing things for the community. Some of the things I look for is people who are teamwork driven. They volunteer. They like to help others. We help others in our community all the time. Every weekend we have some people from our company that are volunteering and helping out the community. So I'm looking for those kind of people, especially in IT. I'm looking for staff that have growth mindset. I want them making sure that they're hungry to learn. They're curious. They're not judgmental. They ask lots of questions, and they want to learn. They read books. They are open to getting training. I will send them wherever it takes to get them trained. We have programs with some recruiters where we will train them on what they need to do and do a 6-week advanced course just to get them up and running. So they're hitting the ground running and they can help us out directly. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for go-getters. I'm looking for people who are hungry to learn and that helps others.
Well, and I know you're going to get that. I know one of the things that we talked about, the big question that you ask each recruit. I want you to talk through that, and I want to talk about your own personal journey with that particular question.
Sure, thanks, Brent. Whenever I'm interviewing a candidate, regardless if it's for a leadership role or not, because I'm always looking for people who have leadership qualities, even if they're not coming into a leadership role, because they're going to grow. And I want them to grow, and I want them to have every opportunity. And one of the questions I ask them is, what was your pivot point in your life that helped you get through a difficult time and that helped you grow, right? Some people don't. They may be very young and they haven't had a pivot point. Other people, it's amazing to hear the stories of the pivot points they had. You hear celebrities all the time talk about how, hey, I was into drugs and I went down this really bad path, I had a bad car accident and it changed my life. Or I, woke up one day and lost my family and it just changed my life. And they had that pivot point, that moment in their life where I have to change what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm not going to exist anymore. My life is not going to matter anymore, right? And so I always ask people, what was that pivot point for you? And it was interesting. I always ask this question. I get great answers from people. But one day, someone turned around and asked me the question, what was your pivot point? What made you grow and get through a difficult situation? And it was funny because I hadn't really, I thought about it, but not deep. And I told them a story, and they said, "Yeah, that wasn't it. That's not your pivot point. That wasn't deep enough, right? That doesn't. I know you, and I know, your personality, how you like to help people, and you're very empathetic, and you're really caring for people. And that story didn't tell me why you care about helping others." And so I had to dig deeper, and it went all the way back to high school. And there was a moment in high school where I had a group of guys that I always, we hung out all the time. It was my best friend, and we had lunch together every day. And one of the guys that sat at the lunch table with me, I sat next to him. We weren't really best friends, right? He was friends with the rest of my group, but I didn't really hang out with him that much. And everybody loved him. He was a great guy, really nice guy. But, I was just going through life sitting next to him, not really interacting with him. And one day I came and he was running for class president. He was, everybody loved this guy. And I came to school one day, and all of a sudden, all of the posters were down. None of his name wasn't up and anything, right? And I'm like, hey, what happened with Bob Butterworth? And they're like, oh, you didn't hear what happened? I'm like, no. It's like, yeah, he died. What do you mean? I mean, and I'm thinking, if you remember back in the 80s, Bob Butterworth, he was, trying to think of, he had a high position in the state. I forget the title he had, right? And I was thinking, oh my God, how is his son, Robert Butterworth, doing? I thought his father had passed away. And they said, no, his son, Bobby passed away. He died. And to come to find out, he was a murderer. He was actually murdered. And he was picked up from school and was he was murdered. And it was very emotional. And when I go back and think of that time, the part that hit me the most was I was sitting next to him every day, and he was such a wonderful person. And I never I took the opportunity to learn more about him, to make that human connection, to become friends with him, to really do more with him. And it hit me that I lost that opportunity, and that I would never have that opportunity. And just hearing all the stories from everybody who did have a really close relationship with him affected me. And I was like, I don't want to go through life sitting next to someone on a bus or something and not being able to have that opportunity to make a connection, to talk to them and say, hey, hi, my name's Leon. How are you doing? And just what do you do? And to be able to have that interaction, to talk to people. It's all about human interaction. It's why we're here. We're social beings, right? So that was my pivot point. That was the moment that I realized that, I want to help, and I want to care for people. I want to know that I can help lift people up, make them better, have them help me, lift me up. I'm not perfect. There's a lot of opportunities for me to grow. So I learn in both directions. I help teach, and I help to learn from everybody I come in contact with. So
I want to tell you, Leon, you sharing that story is first, it shows a lot of transparency. It shows a lot of heart in what you're looking for, because that has meaning, that has depth. And like when things like that happen, I think as long as you've been on this planet, I've been on the planet about 60 some odd years now. I'm going to just bail on my age, but you go through certain pivotal points. That's one of the reasons I do what I do. My father had passed away through a healthcare episode, and that got me really deeper into healthcare. And those are the things that motivate you. They get you out of bed, and you do certain things that are above that's what's called for in any situation. I wanted to ask you this, because that's interesting. So you took us all the way back to high school, and I know you've been in healthcare a while. How did you make that transition and got the opportunity to work in healthcare and then in IT, or is it with IT and then healthcare? Tell us that story.
Sure. I always loved IT. I always loved technology. Even from high school, I was into computers. I wanted to learn everything about computers, programming. And then, which is funny, my girlfriend's father was into technology. He was into computers and everything. And so he took a liking to me, and I would help him out in his workshop. I would help him out on clients that he was working with. He would fly me up to Atlanta, and I would do work with him at a client, setting up computers, setting up networking. Other local clients I would go to, and I loved it. He basically took me under his wing and taught me everything I know about networking and computers and stuff. And at that point, I took a job in Atlanta working for a grocery store chain. And it was like, okay, my first job out of college, let me get, experience with the technology. And then I had the opportunity to come back locally to Hollywood, to Florida, and they had job openings at the hospital. And I grew up down the street from the hospital. And I said, you know what, this would be a great opportunity for me to do something in technology, but also give back to the community and help the community, because hospitals, it's either two things: either meeting people in the hallways that are happy because they're coming because someone's having a baby, or because someone is sick and they're not happy. They're very concerned about someone's health because they have to come into the hospital, right? And so we're always dealing with those two different emotions in the hospital all the time. So it was great that I was fortunate enough to be able to get a job working at the hospital. And then I worked for Mobile for 19 years after that. Grew up in the ranks, and so got all my technology experience, my leadership experience, everything from there, and then took the opportunity to grow on to my next phase of my career and being a CIO over a community care plan.
You've been there for a while, and then you still work with Memorial. You work with Broward. Tell us, this is the thing, and I heard this from other people. They need to understand the relationship of community care partners with these other entities, and then the service that you do for the community. Help us understand that.
So we're what's considered a provider service network called a PSN, and as long as you're owned by 50% of your ownership is by a provider, a hospital system, that's what gives you that designation as a PSN, right? And we, in the state legislature, there's a provision there for a PSN in order for you to apply for Medicaid. So you can either have an HMO license or you can be a PSN and you can apply to serve those members in those regions, right? And so we went and applied for Broward County to be able to serve those recipients that need healthcare, that are underserved, and they need that help from the government. And so we applied and we won the contract in Broward County as a PSN. And as a PSN, we have the advantage of having our two hospital parents and having their systems, and they do a majority of the services in Broward County serving our members. And so having that tight integration with them helps us serve and be able to give the information, share the information with those providers, with those doctors, with those clinicians, to be able to give the best care we can give to our community and to the members that are in our community.
This episode is brought to you by 5-Star BDM. 5-Star BDM is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for small to mid-sized businesses and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our 5-Star business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. The result is more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Please visit www.5starbdm.com to learn more and view all the episodes of Follow the Brand. That is wonderful. I'm glad you're here. We were having this conversation because that communication between the providers, between the payers, and then the consumers or the patients in the community is very, very vital. Everyone's talking about artificial intelligence. We talked about human intelligence and human interaction. You've probably seen just an unprecedented growth in this era. Now, I come from this world where I remember voicemail was new. It was like this thing, voicemail. Oh my God, voicemail. I can't wait to leave a voicemail. Somebody can really interact with me that way. And then you got into contact center. You started getting to see these, chat interactions, right? So you had, telephony, and then you got into more digital interaction. Now you've got a lot of social media, and now you've got a lot of automation through computers, which is the artificial part of that. You're not talking to a human being, but it does simulate human intelligence. Talk to us about the challenges that you're seeing in that era, and how do you see this playing out over the long term?
So yeah, it's the big catchphrase now, AI, artificial intelligence. And I've talked to my team and explained to them that it's not just AI. We can't lose the HI portion of it, the human intelligence, right? And so I keep telling them that there's this AI versus HI mentality, and we need to focus on the human intelligence and leverage the artificial intelligence to allow us to do more meaningful human interactions. So I kind of played around with the AI and HI. So AI is, because artificial intelligence, but I like to consider it artificial interaction. You're not really interacting with a human being, you're interacting with a computer system, some intelligent computer system, right? But HI is human intelligence, and it's also human interaction. And so I like referring to just using AI to allow us to do more meaningful human interaction. So instead of someone calling, a provider calling, hey, I need the status of my claim, like, yeah, that's a simple answer that an automated system can do. So let's give you the means through a chatbot or a portal so you can look that up and get that information on your own without having to be waiting in a queue or trying to get that information, that's simple to get. But a member who's having difficulty navigating the healthcare market and be able to get the care that they need, and they don't even know who to talk to, how to get it, where they can find the services, we want to free up those lines so that they can make that call and we have a human being answer it and immediately have that human interaction, a meaningful interaction to say, let me hold your hand. I'm here for you to help you get the services that you need.
I'm going to send this soundbite to every single hospital, retailer, all these different companies. All of a sudden, it took this whole automation to a whole other world that you can't talk to a human being when you need to talk to a human being. Like, it used to be just dial zero, and then boom, voila, you got a human being that actually can answer your question. That's like gone away. I've talked to so many different people that tell me this over and over, like, wow, how can I just talk to a person? I just need to talk to a person, because what you said, a lot of these things are more complex than what it seems on the surface. Now, the very routine stuff, sure, why not? I just need an address. I need certain things. I need to see some immediate information. You can automate that all day long. But when it becomes something more than that, and when you're dealing with healthcare, time is of the essence. Someone is in some type of state. They're not contacting you typically because it's something routine. It's something that has meaning. We talked about this earlier, empathy. We've got to put our empathy back into our systems and understanding our real why here. Why do most of the people contact us? And we need to put some human intelligence, layer that a little bit more, so this augmented reality works a lot better. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree 100%. It's definitely about, how do we leverage technology to make those human interactions more smooth, easier to have, easier to make, give us access to the information we need. And I'm perfectly fine with someone who doesn't want to talk to, the millennials, the younger generation, like, just give me my app, give me my phone. I'm going to bury my head in my phone and I'll get all the information I need. I don't need to talk to another person. And that's okay. As long as we make it seamless, we make it smooth, they can get the information they have. It's still a human interaction, getting the data and the information they need. But when we want to be there, when they actually do need a person-to-person contact, to have that human interaction, to say, hey, we're here for you. We can hold your hand and really talk you through what you need. We care for you, right? We want to show you that empathy that our company's all about.
That is wonderful. So when you're looking for people that want to join community care partners, and I've heard about this too. I mean, there's a big shortage of workers, skilled workers in healthcare for a number of different reasons, whether it was through COVID, people are migrating in and out. But when people start to look at IT, sometimes they get intimidated. They feel like, I've got to have this geeky knowledge of all things compute before I can even attempt to learn in this particular sector of technology, or in the hospital system, or just healthcare in general. Help us demystify some of that, and tell us again how people can really get in touch with you and be a part of your organization.
That sounds great. One of the things we do is we have an internship program, and in our internship program, I've had many people who came in, done the internship, loved what we do, and we loved what they were doing with us, and hired them. And I've had people who came entry-level jobs, hired us, went all the way up into management. Even in the 8 years that I've been in a community care plan, they grew, and we want to be able to give them that opportunity. And you don't have to come in with all the skills. You don't need to have all the technical SQL programming, C++, .NET, understanding all this new programming. You don't necessarily need to have all of that, especially down the road, AI helping with people being able to do coding and programming, right? What I'm more interested in looking for are people who have a growth mindset, who have the hunger to learn, who want education. They want to open books, read books, watch YouTube videos. Hey, how can I do this? How can I research it? A go-getter that goes after that information. People who are teamwork oriented. They want to help others, right? I'm looking for people. We at Community Care Plan, we volunteer like every weekend and help people in our community. And so we always have some activity, some event that we're doing, either a walk or we're doing a basket, setting up baskets for Thanksgiving, you name it, all year round. We're giving stuff away, our time, helping volunteer in the community. So I'm always asking our people, saying, if you're, do you volunteer? How much do you volunteer? How much do you like helping other people? Right? Because we are a teamwork environment, and we want to help each other and be able to grow together as a group. That's what I'm looking for. And we'll train
I see you've done a lot of innovative things there at CCP. Over time, we're talking about the community telephone application, which I thought was awesome. You've done some other things, because your scores are telling us that you're really, taking what you have and making it better for people that need to interact with CCP. Just talk about just a little bit about some of those innovations that you've done in your tenure.
Sure. So one of the things we discovered is especially for the members that we're serving in our area, we get demographic information on them, and sometimes the demographic information is missing, and so we need to figure out, how do we get a hold of these people? How do we reach out to them? How do we find out that, hey, there's services that we can offer you and you're not even aware of it, and we're having a hard time getting a hold of you, right? And so we went ahead and developed what we call the Global Address Book, our GAB. And we took all the information from all these different sources. Obviously, we have claims information. We have, social determinants of health information. We work with LexisNexis and other vendors where we go and data mine all this information about people, and we pull it in and match it up with our members and say, okay, well, this person's moved from this location to this location, or they have this phone number, and we might have 10 phone numbers for that person, right? But this will say, here's the most likely phone number that you can reach this person, right? And they're on our plan. So it's not like we are, doing any marketing calls or anything like that. This is us reaching out to provide services that they've already signed up for. Right. It's just that somehow their information changed and they didn't update that information. And so this Global Address Book is a tool that our call center has at their fingertips, that as soon as they get on the phone with someone, it has scripts in there that says, okay, here are some things that we've noticed, that you have gaps in your care. Hey, you haven't done your well visit yet. Can I help you schedule a well visit? So you can get that taken care of. So all of that information is right there, handy, right in front of them in our Global Address Book application. Another application we've innovated on, we used to outsource this to another company, and everybody uses texting, right? Everybody's texting people. Most people don't want to get on a phone and talk on the phone anymore, right? They'd rather just text me and I'll respond to you, right? So we found that texting our members, we have more interactions, we get more feedback. They'll give us information back by texting them. And so we went ahead and our team is young. We like to follow the footsteps of other great people, right? And so when SpaceX was doing all their satellites and doing all the stuff, that amazing stuff that they're doing, we said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and create an application called SMSX. And that's going to be our chat or our texting platform for our environment. And so we built our own internal texting platform that we can, do one-on-one text with people. It's HIPAA compliant. It gives us a lot of flexibility to do bulk transactions and send messages out. It does sentiment analysis. So when we get all these text messages back, we can see if someone's frustrated, if they're happy, if they're angry, and can escalate those to an individual to be able to respond to them much quicker. Again, getting that human interaction faster than just waiting on, oh my God, this person texted us 3 days ago and they were upset and we haven't gotten back to them yet, right? And so our SMSX app platform helps us do that.
No, you've got some great innovation. Those are just two. I know you got many. I'm going to be part of your cybersecurity week coming up. And you're doing this to educate, not people just, they don't have to be in IT, but all of us are not interacting with some kind of technology platform, whether it's with your phone, tablet, PC, or anything of that nature. Tell us more about why this is so important, why you're doing this for your particular people there at CCP.
So, yes, we do Security Awareness Week twice a year in April and October. October is Security Awareness Month nationally. So, in technology, it's huge, especially with all the information we have to deal with. Personal health information is very important to us. It's important to the government, HIPAA compliance. You want to make sure that we're protecting people's information. Anything that's healthcare related, their personal identifiable information. We have lots of that information. The hackers out there, the activists out there, they want that information. They're hungry for that information. And they will do everything in their power to go and capture that information. And so we have over 30 different applications that we deploy within our environment to protect us from hackers. All kinds of two-factor authentication to antivirus software to firewalls, all of those different things. We've counted over 30 different applications that we use to protect our environment. Some of those applications are used for training, for education. We do phishing campaigns that we send out fake phishing emails to our staff, and we try to see who clicks on them. And when they do, we educate them, we train them, we try to explain to them how that puts our company, our data exposed to the internet when you click on an email that comes in with a link in it, right? And so I started doing these security awareness trainings back in 2016 at CCP, at Community Care Plan. And we've just continued to improve on these every year, asking people like you to come and talk to us, give us your experiences. We want to have speakers from around the industry that are experts in understanding AI and in just security in general. You don't know how many stories I hear. Just last week, I had an employee walk up to me and said, Leon, I need to tell you, thank you for all of these trainings that you do for us every year, because I just got a phone call the other day and the person was saying they were apologizing. They said that they got a charge from me and that it was by mistake and they needed me to help to reverse the charge. And I remember you telling us a story that it's a scam, that they're going to call you and it's going to make it sound like they made a mistake and they need your help to correct it to get your money back. And I knew that this didn't sound right. So I stopped and I asked them the questions and they ended up hanging up the phone. So I just want to thank you for probably saving me thousands of dollars because of this. And I wouldn't have known. I would have, in the past, I would have just said, oh, yeah, no, let me help you out. I'm sorry that happened. So it's really big for me to help people in our company, protect our data, and help them personally in their lives so that, we're very big on their kids as well. I've got 2 kids. I have a daughter and a son, and they're both adults now after finished college. But growing up, letting them know about security, cybersecurity, being careful. And here I am, a CIO, I'm in IT. I think that my kids know everything. So they were even susceptible, and they were even they were targets, right? And my kids were nervous at bringing it to me after the fact that they were already targeted and they were already going down this road. And then they came like at 2 a.m. My son comes into the room, Dr. Dad, I got to tell you something. I can't sleep. This is bothering me, right? And I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm telling you guys this stuff, and it's hard to convey this information, even when it's that close to you. So I keep telling these stories to everyone that make sure you're involved with your kids. Make sure you're talking with your kids, your family members, your parents if they're older. They're very susceptible if they don't understand technology. So just get the word out, because it's very important that we protect, our data and protect our lives.
100% on that. 100% on that. We're going to conclude here. This has been wonderful. But before we do, because there's people out there that are listening, they want to be a part of your team. They want to know how to contact you. What do they need to do to gain consideration to be a part of CCP? And I love that internship program.
Yeah, no, we do internship programs in the summer and then sometimes in the winter. But our website is ccpcares.org, Community Care Plan Cares.org, ccpcares.org. Go to that website. All the information about any job openings that we have will be there. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Leon Mink at Community Care Plan. You just go ahead and send a friend request. Get us. I'll go ahead and accept it. You can reach out to me, and I have several of my directors, my entire management team. We're all on LinkedIn as well. I'm always looking for new talent, looking for people who are hungry to learn, and we're going to help train you. We'll send you to classes. You don't need to be an expert. Some things we do need. Basic level programming, things like that, right? But mostly I'm looking for people who are hungry and want to learn. And so
this is wonderful. I want to tell you, thank you for being on the Follow Brand Show. I want to invite all of you, your entire fan base, your family, your friends out there. They can tune in to all episodes at www.5starbdm. That is B for brand, D for development, infomasters.com. This has been wonderful. Leon, I can't wait to see you again.
Great. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.